Greetings from Nebraska, which became the 37th state on March 1st, 1867. It has a population of 1.7 million, ranking it 38th in the nation. When you think of the Cornhusker State, you almost automatically think of farming. Not surprisingly, corn is Nebraska's #1 crop, and much of it gets converted into the state's top commodity, corn-fed beef. In fact, the state has more cattle than people and is among the nation's top 5 cattle producers. But Nebraska's impact on the American diet goes beyond hamburger and steak.
One of the early things that we came up with was called Kool-Aid, the Swanson frozen dinner, but the one that most people think of is the Reuben sandwich. It is thought to have come from the Blackstone Hotel in Omaha, where a cook there devised it.
One of Nebraska's more unusual distinctions is this vertical junk pile of 38 cars, just outside of Alliance. It's called Carhenge because it is an astronomically accurate recreation of England's famously mysterious ancient monument, Stonehenge. A different kind of unusual is Nebraska's unique system of government. Since 1937, it's been the only state in the nation with a nonpartisan, unicameral, or single-house legislature. The prime mover behind the idea was U.S. Senator George Norris. He believed a single house, elected without regard to party affiliation, would be more economical, efficient, and honest.
He was interested in opening up the governmental process, making government more transparent, making it more accessible, making it less subservient to special interests. One of his famous lines was, in a 2-house legislature, he said, the politicians hold the checks and the lobbyists hold the balances.
Aside from politics, there's one other thing that sets Nebraska apart: farmland, and lots of it. A whopping 93% of the state's land is used for agriculture. So it's hard to believe that an 1819 explorer described this territory as a land wholly unfit for cultivation. The area once dismissed as the Great American Desert eventually became a place of bounty. John Deere's invention of the cast steel plow in 1837 made busting Nebraska's prairie sod possible and helped spark nothing less than an agricultural revolution. In 1862, nearly 40 million acres of Nebraska territory was opened up by the Homestead Act. Land was snapped up by thousands of applicants, including territorial residents and newcomers alike.
If you were 21 or the head of a household or married, you could apply for a homestead, which was a quarter section of land. You would pay a filing fee of $10. Then after proving up, you would get this land literally free of charge.
Daniel Freeman, a soldier in the Union Army who wanted a homestead in southeastern Nebraska, was the very first to file a claim under the new law.
So that he could file his claim and still get to his post the next day.
Single women also responded to the call of free land. The Chrisman sisters of Custer County were among the earliest homesteaders.
Women who wanted to take under the Homestead Act were certainly entitled to, but they had to be a head of household, which meant they had to be single. And so women, in some cases, delayed marriage during the 5-year proving up periods to be able to take under the Act.
African Americans were also able to take advantage of the opportunity. The first was Nebraskan Robert Anderson in 1886.
And by the time of his death in 1930, he will hold more than 2,000 acres of Nebraska land, and he will die the largest African American landowner in the state.
Homesteaders led a rugged existence. They lived in sod houses and slept on rope-strung beds, which incidentally may have given us a well-known nighttime salutation.
Sleep tight, don't let the bed bugs bite is a saying that, we still say today. It's because the rope beds, after they've been slept on a while, would start sagging in the middle, and so they'd have to tighten their beds, and that's where the term sleep tight comes from.
And bed bugs don't need much of an explanation, do they?
By the 1880s, the homesteading farmers had helped bring Nebraska's Wild West days to an end. But the public's fascination with that era was still strong, and one of Nebraska's most colorful characters was quick to capitalize. His name was William Frederick Cody, the legendary Buffalo Bill.
He was a soldier, a scout, a buffalo hunter, a rancher, and a showman, an entrepreneur, who in the 1880s began to develop what became his famous Wild West exhibition.
Inspired by traveling shows like Barnum and Bailey's Circus, Cody launched his extravaganza in 1882, recreating the excitement of the wild frontier at his ranch in North Platte, Nebraska.
The Wild West show was very carefully orchestrated. They would usually start their show riding around in a circle, firing on the Indians and chasing them down and killing them off.
Cody hired Sitting Bull, Geronimo, and other noted tribal leaders to appear in his shows. He even went so far as to reenact Custer's defeat at Little Bighorn, among other major battles. When the show toured before the crowned heads of Europe, the Indians were a main attraction.
They were very popular. Many of the people in Europe particularly had never seen an Indian.
By the time of his death in 1917, Buffalo Bill was one of the most recognizable celebrities in the world. The Scouts' rest ranch he called home is now a state historic park dedicated to his independent spirit, a spirit he maintained to the very end. Legend has it that Bill's dying words expressed a sentiment which is no doubt shared by many Nebraskans today. Let my show go on.
Look here. I'm talking about America, sweet America.